And I need everyone in the box. If you're behind the court reporter, please do not speak because she needs to be able to hear. Court is calling 2022 CR 9351.
The judge comes in with zero tolerance, no tears, no excuses, just justice. And this moment sets the tone. The courtroom isn't therapy, it's accountability. But will this strict stance soften by the end?
State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Mitchell for the state.
For the defense?
Albert Rodriguez.
And are you Kayla Rolak?
Yes.
According to the plea bargain agreement in this case, you pled to the lesser included offense of abandonment of a child with intent to return. Punishment is to be assessed at 2 years in the state jail facility. There's a $1,500 fine. The state is opposed to your application, and they're taking several cases into consideration. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes,
State?
Your Honor, I don't know if Yes, Your Honor.
All right, any objections to the PSI report, defense?
Other than it says that she's unemployed, he is employed.
Okay. Any other objections than that?
No.
All right, state, any objections to the PSI report?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state you are opposed to the application. Do you have any witnesses?
We do not.
Interesting
Your Honor.
legal play here. The state has no witnesses. That usually signals confidence in the PSI report, meaning they think the paperwork alone proves a case. Risky move or smart strategy?
Defense, do you have any witnesses?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, defense, you may call your first witness.
Is that okay?
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth so help you God? All right, I'm gonna need you to speak up.
Okay.
All right. Could you state your name for the record?
Cynthia Cisneros.
All right, and could you spell it for the court reporter, please?
CYNTHIA, last name Cisneros, CISNEROS.
All right, off the record for a moment. And Norma, if you could tell the attorney, the interpreter is here. So whenever they're ready to proceed.
He's right there.
All right, counsel, because we have a shortage of interpreters, if I could take this matter up very quickly. All right, thank you, I appreciate that. All right, so we're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351, State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. And you're still under oath. And could you restate your name, please?
Yes, Cynthia Cisneros.
All right, and standing in for the state?
Ruben Herrera for the state, Your Honor.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
You stated your name. What is your profession, occupation?
Yes, I'm a family-based safety services worker for Child Protective Services.
And have you supervised or participated with Miss Kayla?
Yes, sir. I have been her worker since September of 2022, and her case just recently closed here in February.
Okay, and can you tell the court how you have interacted with Miss Kayla and how she progressed?
Sure. So, part of my job is to obviously, go into the home, make sure, things are going well with her and her daughter, also to comply with services. So specifically, we had...
She's ticking all the boxes. Parenting classes, clean drug tests, stable housing. But here's a question for you. Should past mistakes be erased if current actions show reform? Comment your take below.
Enrolled Kayla Rolak into parenting, domestic violence, and random drug screenings. She excelled the whole time. She also got protective daycare for her child, so that's where she currently is during the day. And then she does reside with maternal grandmother and Kayla during the day. But she did really, really well. All drug screens came back negative for all substances. She was compliant in all of her services, received positive feedback from all her providers. And my time in working with Ms. Rolak, I really did not experience any negative feedback, any negative experiences or anything like that.
All right. And are you fully satisfied that she has participated well then?
Yes, definitely.
As a witness?
Mrs. Narrows, does the defendant have a support system in order to help her care for the victim in this case?
Yes.
And is she? Nothing further with Mr. Ryan.
All right. So how long did you supervise her?
Oh, since September of 2022.
And how
so-
often were you seeing her?
I was seeing her about twice a month.
All right. And when's the last time she had a drug test?
February of this year.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Kayla would like the court.
State, have you reviewed the documentations he wants to present to the court?
I have no objection to present the state's or the defense documents.
April?
Yes. Thank you, counsel. And for the record, the court is reviewing certificates that have been offered on behalf of Ms. Rowland by her attorney. Any other witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, State, you're opposed to the application?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, you can make your argument, State.
Your Honor, although it's been presented that the defendant seems to be taking some steps in
All right, you all need to whisper in the box.
taking responsibility for this matter, based on the allegations, Your Honor, it shows a gross negligence and the lack of proper judgment. In fact, that the defendant did admit to leaving her child purposefully at the home.
And here it is, the emotional punch. A child found outside in the cold, alone. This isn't just bad judgment. It's the kind of moment that haunts a case. What would you do if you were the judge?
Without checking to see if there was anybody there to supervise the child, Your Honor. This resulted in the victim child being able to escape the residence on her own, being outside in cold temperatures with nothing but a diaper on. Based on the allegations, Your Honor, the state would oppose the defendant's application.
All right, is there a reason for the tears? Because what he's just saying is true.
No.
Now, I know people want to cry before the court because they want the court to be lenient, but let me just tell you, tears don't sway the court. I'm just here to listen to facts to see if you've done anything that would justify the court placing you on probation, okay? All right, so that's why you're asking for her to go to prison?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And have you, State, have you had a chance to review her certificates?
I did, Your Honor.
All right. All right, defense?
Yes, Your Honor. And, Your Honor, we're asking that the court consider supervision for her. This offense, first of all, the child just wandered away from, in contrast to what counsel says that the child escaped. So it wasn't a matter of escaping. She was just wandered off as children off too. My client had stated, told the police that she thought that the adults were inside the home and that the child was being taken care of. And it was just a mistake on her part. And I would like for Ms. Rowland to address the court on this issue of abandoning the child.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Kayla Rowland.
All right, defense?
And why do you, first of all, was this an honest mistake on your part in leaving the child?
Yes, I would never want to leave my child on purpose. I take care of her every day. I'm the only person that she's been with every day of her life. I love her and I didn't mean to put her in any harm's way.
All right, somebody want to explain to me, the crux of this entire situation is some kind of way, a 2-year-old in a diaper ended up wandering the streets in a diaper only in November, and it was cold. So, I mean, that's what we need to get to the point of, because in the PSI report, she's blaming the people who, CPS, has put in charge of helping her supervise the child. That's who she's blaming for her child being out and about, because in the PSI report, it states that guilt was minimized. And in the PSI report, she's stating she thought these other people who CPS put in charge of her child as the person to chaperone or supervise, she's blaming them, saying that they were supposed to be there. So somebody explained to me how a 2-year-old gets out of a apartment or residence that's supposedly locked or should have been locked.
So she was naked, not wearing any clothes, because that's how we sleep. She still goes and runs around naked. We just got out of diapers, so she usually just wears a underwear. But that's why she was naked, not having any clothes. And I do not blame anyone else. This is my fault. I should have been the one to check if anyone was there. Let's
pause here. A toddler in November slips outside in a diaper. The mother says she thought someone was home, but didn't check. Is that forgivable neglect or inexcusable carelessness?
I was just saying that I had thought, because when I laid down my daughter, my mom and my uncle were still there, so that's the reason why I didn't check. But this is my fault. I am taking full responsibility.
I hope everybody understands. I'm always curious. I have questions. It sounds odd to me, unless people are living in a mansion and you have the West Wing and the East Wing, and people leave and people don't know it. So I'm just finding it, or I just have questions. How a child gets left, and I don't even understand how children get left in the car by themselves, but in a home, how does a child get left in a home by themselves if a parent is leaving and other people are there and other people see you leave? Nobody thinks, oh, we can't leave because there's a 2-year-old here. How does that work?
So when I laid down my daughter, my mom and I both went into our rooms. That's why I thought that she was there. So I didn't hear no door open or close, and I hadn't come out of. So I didn't see anybody. I figured my mom was still home because I didn't see anybody out there.
So you don't see anybody and you just leave your daughter in a house and you haven't seen anyone?
Just because I thought that my mom was in her room still.
Defense, you may continue.
I have no further questions, John.
Any questions?
Just briefly, Ms. Rolak, how far away is your mother's room from your room?
It was down the hall.
Did you knock at all to check if she was still there?
I don't think so.
Did you walk around the apartment to confirm that there was any adults present before you left the apartment?
I just walked through the living room.
All right. Any other witness, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I want a UA today, then I'll make my decision.
This final cross-exam seals the defense's case. She admits her fault, offers no excuses, and the drug test is clean. But is that enough to outweigh the damning details in the PSI report? The judge is about to decide.
So, Ms. Abrams, if I could have a UA on Ms. Rolak, please. We're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351, State of Texas versus Kayla Rolak. Court is here. Counsel. Thank you. All right, we're back on the record in 2022 CR 9351, Kayla Rolak. And the court asked the defendant to do a UA. And I'm very happy to say that the UA was negative. All right, is there anything else from either side with regards to argument?